week 2 on MRN Outloud. I'm Woody Cain as we head to Las Vegas Motor Speedway this week. Coming up a little bit later on in the program, we'll have our Money Lion crew chief preview. Randall Burnett will be along. He tops the pit box for Cup rookie Tyler Reddick. After that, Hannah Newhouse will join us. She and I will share pit road duties this weekend for the Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series as they make race number 2 coming up this weekend at Las Vegas. But speaking of that city, Las Vegas native Noah Gragson joins us on the guest line now, fresh off his first victory in the Xfinity Series. He does it at no better place than Daytona. Noah, congratulations, man. That had to really set you on cloud 9.
Yeah, it's quite the opportunity to just race at Daytona in general, and then to win there is a really special feeling, and it's something that I'll cherish forever. It was very, very satisfying crossing that start-finish line with seeing all the fans up on their feet and knowing how big of a moment it is for everyone at Junior Motorsports. It's the 7th win for the company down there at Daytona. So to be able to get the number 9, Bass Pro Shop, Black Rifle Coffee, True Timber, Camaro, and Victory Lane felt very, very good.
Bass Pro Shops and Black Rifle Coffee new for you this year. How cool was it to take them to Victory Lane? I saw you said you had a bunch of coffee and got a little jittery beforehand. Is that right?
Yeah, I had some of their coffee blend before the race. I had 2 cups of it, and it got me pretty amped up. I had to start doing a little meditation technique that I've been practicing before the races just to get me calmed down back onto to planet Earth before we got in. But it was a long race, 300 miles, so
yeah.
Kept me focused, kept me sharp there at the end, and I don't know if I'd be standing in Victory Lane if it weren't for those guys over at Black Rifle Coffee.
Speaking of 300, you've got 300 more coming up at Las Vegas, the Boyd Gaming 300 this coming Saturday. It's a home game for you, a hometown race there, and as everybody knows, it's apples and oranges comparing super speedway racing to a mile and a half. What are you looking for at Las Vegas this weekend?
Just to have a strong showing. Obviously, we have a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence behind us right now, and we're going to take that to Vegas, try and take that momentum. The guys have been working really hard on our intermediate track program, and I fell in love with running the top at Vegas. So hopefully we can move the race up top and go get us another win.
How temperature sensitive is that track compared to some of the others? Does the weather really affect Las Vegas much?
A little bit here and there. Definitely have to take it into accountability, and it's one of those tracks where you can get up to the top side and start running some good lap times on the very, very top. So if we can get up there, I love running the wall. Tracks like Homestead, Darlington, Vegas is right with there. So it's a hometown race for myself, and got a lot of friends, a lot of family that'll be coming out to support me. And definitely if I could win there, it's one of the biggest of my career.
Speaking of Las Vegas, a lot is happening there. You got the NFL team coming pretty soon, and as you said, a home game for you. Give folks some off-the-beaten-path things they might want to check out while they're there that aren't necessarily the traditional tourist-type things, because when you live there, it's a little bit of a different animal, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely living there. Everybody used to ask me growing up, hey, what hotel did you grow up in? I didn't grow up in a hotel. There's a lot more to Vegas than just the Strip, you know? So
yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just like any other normal city. I feel like things might stay open later, restaurants and gas stations and stuff like that, which was kind of strange moving out to Huntersville, North Carolina, just south of Mooresville where the team is. Things close at 9 o'clock, but relatively other than that, everything's close to the same. Not a lot of differences, just like any other town across America. So it's definitely wild down there on the Strip. I have my favorite restaurants I like to go to back home in Vegas, and it's great to get back there and sleep in my bed that I grew up sleeping in, and just being home and seeing old friends, high school friends from middle school and family. That makes it really special racing there and something that's a lot of fun for me.
Speaking of restaurants, refresh my memory. You were telling me about a place last year, and when I tried to go, they were doing some renovation or something like that. What was the name of that place?
That place is called La Tie. They're back open. They were doing some renovations for a little, I don't know, probably half a year, which kind of sucked because every time I would be there in Vegas, I wasn't able to eat there. But I love Thai food. I like going to all these different kind of Thai food restaurants and trying it out. I like fried rice and had CU, so
Yeah.
I like to try it all out and see where the best is, and so far it's been there. So the best fried rice I'd say I've ever had, and it's one of those places that on my list to go to every single chance I get back to Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to check that out. You made it sound so good last time. I was so disappointed when they were doing the remodeling. Hey, I saw where you are you doing a new podcast series this year? I saw you and All Guy are out on a beach somewhere. What's up with that?
Yeah, we're doing kind of like a podcast/video series where I'll have different guests on, and it's presented by Superior Essex. So with I don't know how many episodes we're gonna have right now. I think we're at 10 right now, but we're having different guests on, and we'll be asking each other questions that hopefully are some that the fans don't know the answers to, and give them more of an understanding about all these different drivers and myself, and just kind of a little bit more of an in-depth get to know and just have fun. They had some really good questions for both Justin and I that we both asked each other and answered, and it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughs being shared and some stuff that I didn't know about Justin and that I learned about him. So with that being said, we're going to be doing about 10 of them, like I said, this year, and it's called Get to Noah Him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of deal.
That's marketing, yeah. Pretty
like
slick.
Fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those deals. So we had a lot of fun shooting the first one on the beach at Daytona, and I'm not sure where the next ones are going to be or who's going to be on them, but we're going to come up with some good people, some good guests, and have some fun with it.
Yeah, we can definitely find the links to that at all your social media channels. Will be pumping that out, but going to be a lot of fun to keep track of that. And Noah, once again, thanks for your time. Congratulations for your first win in the Xfinity Series. You're locked into the playoffs now, and now you just got to pile up those playoff points and be ready for when the postseason rolls around.
Hey, let's hope so. Let's try and get more of those little checker flag stickers they put behind the name on the left side roof. That'd be good to get those all filled up to where they come down, maybe onto the quarter panel.
Yeah, man,
you're doing a really good job.
That's money in the bank later on, right? You got to get it now while you can.
That's right.
All right, Noah, congratulations. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you out in Las Vegas.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Take care, guys.
There you go. Noah Gragson, the winner at Daytona to start the season off in the Xfinity Series. He'll be back in action this Saturday in the Boyd Gaming 300 out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A timeout. When we come back, Randall Burnett will join us for our Moneyline Crew Chief segment.
Did you know that banks collected over $15 billion in unnecessary bank fees last year? Come on, enough is enough. It's time we took back control of our finances. That's why Moneyline is proud to bring you the Financial Crew Chief and to be a NASCAR sponsor. Look, no one knows more about hard work and pursuing their dreams than NASCAR fans, drivers, and teams. So we want to bring you the kind of banking that the big banks would never build, with features like zero-fee checking and zero-fee investment accounts. And because life is also meant for a join, with Moneyline, NASCAR fans get even more. We're giving away 1,500 NASCAR tickets to our members this year. Plus, you can get 5% cash back on NASCAR tickets, at-track purchases, and all purchases at NASCAR.com. Learn more at Moneyline.com or download our app. This is America's most powerful financial membership. Moneyline. Here we roar.
Welcome back to MRN Out Loud. One of the new features we're going to have this year is a crew chief's perspective on the upcoming race each week. It's presented by Moneyline, the world's most powerful financial membership. Moneyline, here we roar. This week's crew chief is Randall Burnett. He tops the pit box for Tyler Reddick, a rookie in the Cup Series this season. Kyle Rickey caught up with Mr. Burnett at Daytona.
Talk to Randall Burnett, Caterpillar Chevrolet crew chief here with a new driver for the 2020 season. You're back here in the Cup Garage after spending some time with him, so I guess not a new driver to you. You won the Xfinity Series championship a year ago with him, but what's it been like here making that transfer over to the NASCAR Cup Series garage for 2020 here in the first couple weeks?
Yeah, it's been fun. You know, we've worked together a lot this winter on it. Obviously, we had a really successful year with Tyler last year on the Xfinity side, and he's certainly ready to make the jump, I feel like. He's an amazing talent, and so, you know, our big goal here is to get our Caterpillar Chevy, you know, driving well for him where he's a little more comfortable. You know, we had a good chance in learning some things last night in the 150s, and feel like we learned a lot. That was really his first chance at getting a run in a pack like that. So I feel like he learned a lot of things in that, and got to work with Derek, which was Derek was our spotter last year. So the three of us coming over together kind of made that transition a little easier. And so we're just kind of learning these cars a little bit, learning, how this whole process goes over here. It's been a few years since I've been on the Cup side, and it's changed a little bit since I was back over here. So we're all just getting up to speed with it, and feel like we'll be a lot better on Sunday in the 500.
That's going to be my next question. It's been, 5 years since you've been in the Cup Series with JTG. These cars have evolved. How closely do you kind of keep up with the evolution, even though you're not, full-time in the series?
Well, you certainly keep up with it. It's been, I guess, 3 years since I've been on this side. And, we keep up with it with our Xfinity deal. Last year we were in the same shop as the Cup guys and had a lot of communication with them and, just kind of always paying attention to what they're doing and seeing if any of that applied to the Xfinity side, so that kind of kept us out in the loop on a lot of the big things. So, it's just me learning about how to manage practice, getting back familiar with everybody on this side. And obviously super speedway racing, there's a lot of working together between the manufacturers and things like that. And so, just learning all that and getting Tyler, like I said, comfortable is the main thing to where he was at the level of comfort with that Xfinity car last year.
Do you feel like you have a fairly significant leg up knowing that you two have worked together for the last year and found success?
Well, I certainly think that's a huge thing for us transferring together to the Cup side. Is we don't have to learn each other over. We've already got that relationship built. We've had a lot of success together, last season. So, I think that's a huge step forward for us as far as being able to get right up to speed.
Heading to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, you mentioned it, new car for you, Tyler, new to the series. So what's that weekend look like? How do you hope to execute that weekend, those practice sessions leading into qualifying in the race?
Yeah, so obviously it's going to be way different than the super speedway stuff. This, the big group stuff and learning how the cars maneuver around each other. And, there was a lot of thought of that going into Vegas last year, and I think what you saw, it kind of evolved, to separate the guys between the downforce and the low drag. And so we're working out where he's gonna be most comfortable with that. There's a certain point where you start taking out too much drag, then you lose the downforce to go with it, and there's kind of a fine line there. So we'll be working on learning those things with him, how far we can go, and what his comfort level is with that.
RC said late last year that there were going to be some pretty significant changes behind the scenes looking ahead to 2020, really hoping to step up the program. You confident in everything that happened during the offseason that you guys are going to contend here in this season, even with a rookie driver?
Well, I think we have the opportunity to, for sure. I think we have the talent behind the wheel. We just got to give him what he needs and figure that out in a hurry. We're still obviously learning these cars together. So, we had a pretty good jump last year in the Xfinity side because we had a lot of notes to go off of and things like that. So obviously last year, we struggled as a whole at RCR on the Cup side. So we got the new 2020 Chevy body, it's Chevy Camaro that's supposed to be a big help for us, and it looks like it's going to be helpful for us, especially at places like Las Vegas and Fontana and those tracks coming up. So obviously got the new short track package to work on too. So we've got a lot of stuff in the hopper right now that we're working on. But we made quite a few changes throughout the off season last year, and trying to get the right people in place and in the right areas in the shop and on the road. So I feel really good about our team that we've got here on the 8 car. It's a great group of guys, and feel really good about all of our support back at the shop. They've been really, really working hard on getting the bodies changed over and trying to learn as much about them as we can in a short period of time.
All that stuff you just listed off, does any of that keep you up at night, or are you good with just leaving the shop and just leaving it at work?
No, all of it keeps you up at night, honestly. Like, you wake up in the middle of the night, man, what about this or what about that? And so, my wife loves that. She's like, would you just go to bed? You always got stuff on your mind. So that's just part of it, man. Everybody's really competitive in this series, and you're always trying to get the leg up and trying to be the first guy to get somewhere, and hopefully you can find some advantages. And certainly myself spent a lot of sleepless nights this winter trying to just think and trying to work on things for this season.
Thanks for your time, as always, and best of luck to you this weekend.
I appreciate it. Thanks for you guys.
That's our Crew Chiefs segment presented by Money Lion, the world's most powerful financial membership. Money Lion, here we roar. When we come back, Hannah Newhouse sits in as we preview some truck racing at Las Vegas.
Next time those engines roar, don't just get pumped up. Get 5% cash back with Money Lion. Our members get 5% cash back on up to $2,000 in annual purchases of tickets to a NASCAR race from authorized ticket sellers. You'll also get 5% off any at-track purchases and all purchases on NASCAR.com. Just use your MoneyLion debit card and it couldn't be easier. Join the world's most powerful financial membership, MoneyLion. Here we roar.
Back on MRN Out Loud, preparing for the race weekend at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and joining us in the studio now, Hannah Newhouse. She and I will be sharing pit road duties this weekend for the Gander RV and Outworld Truck Series, Outworld Outdoors Truck Series this weekend, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The Strat 200. Are you ready to go?
We're going to start a little bucket up here for every time that we get really long race names. I mean, the Arca Menard Series West, presented by, we're going to do $1.
Okay.
For every time this year, because we do this on NASCAR Coast to Coast too, where we just got these long names. But yes, I'm ready for it. We're going to be broke
by the time that's over.
Yes, I'm ready for some warm weather. It's been cold here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We finally get a sunny day. Obviously, it finally is sunny for our people down in Daytona, Florida. So let's go to the desert. I'm ready for it.
So what did you see in the opening truck race, the season opener? Obviously, Grant Enfinger wins in a door slammer with Jordan Anderson. We had trucks getting upside down. We had all kinds of wrecks. We had all kinds of drama. What jumped out at you?
I think that's the truck series as a whole. I mean, that's what I look forward to. There is raw racing. These drivers all want it, and it showed it right off the bat. Grant Enfinger, one of the veterans in the series, shows that he still wants it just as much as these young guns trying to prove themselves, like Jordan Anderson. What a story run for him to get that runner-up finish. Heartbreak seems to be Ty Majeski's middle name. He cannot catch a break, ends up upside down, redeems himself at a short track the next day in a super late model. But Ty Majeski is going to be someone I'm watching because I know that he's got the potential. He's now got the great equipment with Nice, who made a championship run last year. He just needs luck. And we hate to say that this sport is anything that requires luck, but it doesn't.
Good is not enough.
Right, especially these plate tracks. So I think you get him to a track maybe like Vegas when we start getting to our Martinsvilles and stuff like that is elbows up. Majeski's going to stick out. You're going to see Tyler Ankrum, who almost made a championship run for GMS.
And remember, in the middle of the season, he was thinking he was done.
Right.
He wasn't going to be able to finish the year.
Exactly, and he's got a full slate this year. Everything's guaranteed for him. GMS has a powerhouse of drivers, including Moffitt as well. So GMS will be strong. Didn't have the luck in Daytona. Neither did KBM. So some of our biggest, toughest teams didn't start the year off very well, and I think they're looking for that redemption in Vegas to maybe get the ball rolling in the second race.
Sort of an apples and oranges situation, though, when you're talking super speedway versus a Las Vegas Motor Speedway, though.
Oh, 100%. Like we said, luck. It's a lot of luck at Daytona. Jordan Anderson took advantage of that. He put himself in the right position. He dropped out of line when he knew that wreck was coming. And that's something you can't necessarily do at Las Vegas. You can't drop out of line knowing the big one is coming.
But some people say they just get that feeling and they know when they got to get out of there.
Exactly. And so like you said, apples and oranges. So Vegas is a whole new beast that we're going to see a complete shakeup, I feel like, in essentially the finish that we saw at Daytona.
Who are some of the people you're going to be keeping an eye out for, not just this weekend at Las Vegas, but for the whole season? Because you look at the finishing order, you mentioned Jordan Anderson. They've got like a partnership with Austin Wayne Self this year. Then you look a little further back, you got Cody Rohrbaugh, who was third. Derek Kraus was fourth. Natalie Decker, a top five. Then you get back to the usual suspects, Austin Hill and Johnny Sauter after that. But there are many new names here. Kyle Busch Motorsports has completely changed their whole lineup.
Yeah, I think Kyle Busch Motorsports, obviously, they always bring the heat in their trucks. You've got Christian Eckes, who is a champion in the Arca Menard Series last year. He's a super late model winner. He's got a lot of short track experience, building it now on these big tracks, but he's getting the hang of it very quickly. So he'll be someone that I'll be watching as a rookie. Also, that rotating truck that they always have someone in, like Chandler Smith. I think he's slated for a couple races.
Or Kyle Busch.
He's
doing 5, and Vegas is one of them.
Right.
His hometown.
So, Kyle Busch, we'll see if he starts that win streak again like he did last year. I believe he won every race, right, that he started in last year. Yes, that was we all waited on pit road. We were like, well, who won second through 5 because the other one's going to victory lane with Kyle. But GMS again has a powerhouse. But you've got these teams, these Cody Rohrbaughs, like you said, the Jordan Andersons, the Austin Wayne Self. Derek Kraus, this is a new team that has been put together with Bill McAnally Racing, and they have a partnership with someone else as well.
Now, they have a long history, just not with trucks.
Right. They are K&N West champions. They've raced out in the K&N West Series for multiple years now. And so to now branch this and take that partnership into the Truck Series, they've already got that good gelling vibe. He knows how to work with a lot of the people. I think Bellecourt is actually his crew chief.
I think you're right,
and he's, crew chief for Justin Haley in the Truck Series. So they've got good dynamic. They've just got to keep carrying that momentum. And I think we'll see that throughout the season as Derek gets more comfortable on these big tracks. He doesn't have a lot of super speedway. He doesn't have a lot of over a mile really experience. He was too young. And so that'll be a really fun story to watch. It'll be like watching Tyler Ankrum. I really feel like last year. So
who kind of came out of nowhere, and next thing you know, he's right in the thick of it.
Exactly.
We won't see it this weekend, but I was curious to get your take on the changes that we're talking about for pit stops at standalones for trucks and Xfinity, where they're going to try and save a little money. They're going to try and not hire cup crews, at least when they're at standalones. Now, that won't be in play this weekend, but down the road, how do you think that might work out?
I think we saw both sides of the fence. We saw the teams that could afford it were very bummed about it because that was an advantage that was now taken away from them. And then you saw a lot of these teams that are balling on a budget that were like, this now puts us in the same wheelhouse as everyone else, not having to afford those crew guys or sending a guy that maybe isn't qualified to go over the wall. And I have to say, it saves me at Mid-Ohio. I don't know if you've worked pit road at Mid-Ohio.
Yes, I have.
I am so excited for scheduled pit stops because, the curvature of that.
And the hill,
Oh, yes. They're calling pit stops. They're like, Hannah, so-and-so's down pit road, and I am 6 stalls up and can't see the stall down below me. So I am very excited about Mid-Ohio, but it does shake things up as far as allowing these teams to have strategy.
Speaking of Mid-Ohio, just a quick aside, you've been there as well. Glenn Jarrett told me a trick the first time I went there. Right behind, they're the little suite area. You can go up and kind of stand so you can look down on them, and I did that a couple of times.
It never failed that I had Justin Allgaier in the first pit all the way down the hill, and up at the split, I had like a Chase Briscoe, and I was like,
of course. I think there's a rule that your good trucks, your contending trucks, must be separated as far as possible. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, it never failed at Mid-Ohio, too. And so I was like, you know what? I'm okay with this. Any of the other tracks, we can still do the other pit stops. But Mid-Ohio, I'm looking forward to the split. But, yeah, I think it's definitely going to separate that and bring everyone closer into not being able to play in strategy. And I think a lot of people freaked out when they were like, oh, there's so many standalones. There's so many standalones. I can't believe they do. There's really not.
It's not that many. It's like really 6, 7.
Yeah, 6, 7 in total between Xfinity and Truck. Right. I think there's 3 or 4 each. Yeah. So really, in the grand scheme of the schedule, that's not much. Give these teams a break. Let them save that money where they can.
And see how it works.
Yeah. We've got to trial run these things, and I think it's going to help these small teams and bring everyone closer together. Can't knock it till you try it.
Before we shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the other things that Hannah has going on, I wanted to ask you about Thursday at Las Vegas because the ARCA Series is going to be there. There's going to be a late model race, and Kyle Busch is going to be in it. What's your outlook there for Thursday? Because this is a 4-day show in Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, I would be lying if I said I'm not very excited to go out to the Las Vegas Bull Ring. We fly in just in time to catch out there. Super late model racing is so my wheelhouse. Yeah. And the Star Nursery 150 is out there for the ARCA Menard Series West. They're going to host their Super Late Model Invitational. They usually have this in the fall, but we've seen the ARCA Series out at the dirt track the last few years. Yeah. So what a great opportunity to bring these aspiring drivers in the late models, pair them up with some of the rising stars in the ARCA Menard Series West next to the big stage of Las Vegas Speedway. And the Bull Ring, if you've never been there, is the Bull Ring. It's just that. Yeah. There's a reason it got that name. It's some rough, tough racing. You're going to have people, like you said, Kyle Busch. He's going to be racing in it. Brittany Zamora, who was a name in the ARCA West Series last year, she's coming out with her super late model. I wouldn't be surprised if Noah Gragson, hometown boy as well, brings out a super late model. We've seen, Dylan Kwasniewski come out. There's just so much history at the Bull Ring. And it's got a strong fan base that we'll see both at the big track and at the short track. So I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be a lot of big names, a lot of tough racing, because these drivers take this as an opportunity that they're essentially racing on the big stage in front of the Cup guys.
Going to be a lot of fun. And I said that to ask you about this. Coast to Coast is the regular podcast series on the Motor Racing Network. You and Kyle Rickey, what's coming up on Coast to Coast? You guys, for folks who aren't as familiar with it, tell them what they can catch.
Yeah, so we every week we talk about all of the rising stars and big names across the nation, all throughout NASCAR's home track ranks, everything from the ARCA Menard Series, West, East, National. We cover modified racing. We even talk about the people across the pond in the Euro Series, the Canadian Series, and the Mexico Peak Series. Lots of racing all within NASCAR short track. So we always get some very interesting guests, some familiar names. We've got Ty Majeski on this week talking about how he went from upside down on the high banks of Daytona to winning his 100th super late model race. The next day out at New Smyrna.
And plus, you got to keep Kyle Rickey straight, and that's always fun to watch you like poke him in the eye when he gets out of line.
Yeah, I really didn't realize when I signed on for Coast to Coast that it'd be like a babysitting job. I didn't know if I needed to be CPR certified.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we have a lot of fun with it. It's always fun to see Kyle's reaction because he just doesn't know how to take my jabs sometimes. I just live for it.
It's
I
fun.
live for
I enjoy it too.
Yes.
I enjoy watching the look on his face when
Yes.
you bust him and he doesn't know what to think. When do those drop each week?
We usually drop them about Wednesday at noon. That's our aim. We've been doing that the last couple of years, but we've had a little flexibility, especially with lovely rain delays. Our friend Kyle Rickey was out in Daytona a little longer than he'd expected. Yeah. So Wednesdays around noon is usually when they go out.
And the other thing that folks can catch you on is Sealed Off, the podcast you do with Jacqueline Drake. Is that coming back this year?
Yes, we're very excited about it. We're a little late to the jump. We both have had a lot going on there. And late model racing doesn't stop. It's a lot like dirt racing to where they just find warmer weather.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping about getting that up going again in the next couple weeks or so. We usually drop that again Wednesdays as well around noon. Hoping to fire that up in the next week or so. We've got a lot to talk about with Speed Weeks down at New Smyrna. They've been racing out in California and Florida all through the off season. Lots of drama there. It's like the mini version of NASCAR. It just never stops with the drama and the silly season. So any late model racing news, you can usually find it with us on Sealed Off.
All right, there you go. Hannah Newhouse is going to be very busy here on the Motor Racing Network, as you mentioned, with Coast to Coast and Sealed Off coming a little bit later on. But this Friday night, she and I will be on pit road for the Strat 200, 8:30 Eastern Time on the Motor Racing Network as we get to race number 2 for the Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series. Hannah, thanks for coming by. Look forward to catching up with you in Vegas. We'll be there before we know it.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to getting my farmer's tan started for sure.
All right, guys. Next week, we'll be right back with more MRN Out Loud. Make sure you're here with us every Thursday on the Motor Racing Network.